Thank you, Divya. A warm welcome to all esteemed dignitaries, audience, and all members present here. Atithi Devo Bhava. It means in Indian tradition, the guest is as honored the God. As a token of warmth and gratitude, we would like to felicitate our honorable guest. First of all, I would like to request the Chief Patron or Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor S.P. Shahi sir to felicitate our special guest of honor, His Excellency Mr. Cedric Charles Crawley, Deputy High Commissioner, South Africa High Commission, New Delhi, with memento, bouquet and shawl. Please, sir. Please give big round of applause. Thank you very much, sir. Next, I would like to request the convener of the event, our mentor, our guardian, and our support system, Professor Mohammed Ehtisham Khan sir, to felicitate the chief patron of the event, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor S.P. Shahi sir, Magadh University, Bodh Gaya, with bouquet, memento, and shawl. Next, I would like to request the organizing secretary of the event, Dr. Anjani Kumar Ghosh sir, to felicitate Mr. Avinash Gan, our special guest of honor, member G20 African Economic Integration Committee, New Delhi, with memento, shawl and bouquet. Next, I would like to request Professor Janandan Singh sir, Department of Political Science, Magadh University, to felicitate our patron, Honorable Professor Pro Vice Chancellor sir, Professor B. R.K. Singh Sinha sir, Magadh University, Bodh Gaya, with memento, bouquet and shawl. Thank you very much, sir. Now, I would like to request Dr. Tripurari Singh Chauhan, Department of Public Administration, to felicitate our guest of honor, Professor Sushil Kumar Singh, sir, Director, DDMU, Bodh Gaya, with bouquet, memento, and shawl. Next, I would like to request Dr. Shraddha Rishi ma'am, Department of Political Science, Magadh University, to felicitate Dr. Sanjay Kumar sir, Department of Political Science, AN College, Patna, Patliputra University, with bouquet, shawl and memento. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to request Dr. Divya Mishra, ma'am, to felicitate our guardian, our support system, and our mentor and the convener of the event, Professor Muhammad Ehtesham Khan, sir, Professor in charge, Department of Public Administration, with bouquet, shawl, and memento. Thank you, ma'am. And last, now I would like to hand over the mic to my colleague, Dr. Devya, for proceeding further. Thank you.
For the formal welcome address, I request the convener of the event, Professor Ehtesham Khan sir, to deliver the same.
Thank you, Divya ji, Priyanka ji, Shraddha ji. First of all, I welcome His Excellency Charles Crowley Cedric Sahab, Deputy High Commissioner of South Africa in India. You are most welcome, sir, at the land of Buddha, at Magadh University, Bodh Gaya. And on behalf of the Department of Political Science and Public Administration, I again welcome you at this land of peace. I welcome Honorable Vice Chancellor, Magadh University, Bodh Gaya. From the bottom of my core of my heart, because you are restoring the work culture of Magadh University, Bodh Gaya. Honorable His Excellency Deputy High Commissioner Sahab, Honorable Vice Chancellor, illuminated and inspired every bit of activities and the work culture and the life of Magadh Bodh Gaya. We all are with Honorable Vice Chancellor. Welcome, sir. Again, I welcome Shri Avinash Kumar ji on his initiative. This event is being organized here at this hall. Avinash ji is the member of G20 Africa Integration Committee. You are welcome here, sir. My guardian, and Pro-Vice Chancellor, Honorable Pro-Vice Chancellor, Magadh University, Professor Dr. V.R. Singh Sinha Sahab. You are also welcome on this event at this hall, sir. My colleague and friend, Dr. Sanjay Kumar ji, who is teaching political science in Patliputra University. You are also welcome here, sir. My guardian, Professor Dr. Sushil Kumar Singh Sahab, Director DD. You are also welcome here, sir. In the audience, my colleagues and friends, and organizing secretary of the event, Dr. Anjani Kumar Ghosh ji, IQS coordinator of IQAC, Professor Dr. Mukesh Kumar ji, Head of Department of History, Dr. Nipendra Kumar Srivastava ji, Head of Economics and Dean of Social Sciences, Ravi Shankar Jamwar Sahab, Head of the Department of Hindi and Proctor of Magadh University Bodh Gaya, Professor Dr. Brajesh Kumar Rai Sahab, former Head of Political Science and Public Administration, and former Dean of Social Sciences and Proctor, Professor Dr. Janandan Prasad Singh Sahab, my colleague and teacher, Amit ji, my research scholars, Ashok ji, Pankaj ji, Avinash ji, Sharadra ji, Deepak ji, Sadhana, Sakhi, Beauty, Kiran, and my dear students and the media person. Sir, you will be happy to know that Honorable His Excellency Charles Sahab, we have a very long and deep relationship with South Africa. And thus this function is being organized on the autumn of the G20, which the India organized at New Delhi, sir. And you are part and parcel of that great function. And the South Africa, sir, was the only member 55 countries block of African continent of the G20. But on the proposal of Prime Minister Modi ji, and also from your consent, and all the members of the G20 give consent to be included the 21 member to the whole block of South Africa, African continent of 55 countries. So we will be happy to know that we mark the 150 years of relationship when the first Indian was reached at your land, and on March the 2010, the departure of Gandhiji from your land to India. So there is a lot of relation with you in every field, in the defense, in the economic and the trade. But sir, I am thankful to you, sir, and I again welcome you, sir, because you have supported, India has supported on every chapter to South Africa. So far as the policy was apartheid policy, and the Nelson Mandela have a deep, Mahatma Gandhi has a deep impact on the thinking and the working of the Nelson Mandela Sahab, sir. Again you are welcome, sir, and again welcome to all the dignitaries on the dais, welcome to all the guests and the students and the teachers and the media persons and the Pankaj especially. Welcome to all of you. Welcome all of you. Thank you. Since Honorable Vice Chancellor has urgent work at Patna, he may leave from here due to some pressing reason. So, just I think, sir, from the Magadh University, I think, please, sir, you welcome all the guests. Thank you, sir. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Magadh University, big applause.
महामहिम His Excellency Cedric Charles Crowley साहब, उप उच्चायुक्त दक्षिण अफ्रीका, डायस पर बैठे हुए पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के हेड हमारे मित्र प्रोफेसर एहतशाम साहब, ऑनरेबल प्रो वाइस चांसलर साहब PRK सिन्हा साहब, डीन एजुकेशन प्रोफेसर SK सिंह साहब, अविनाश ज्ञान जी जो दिल्ली से आए हुए हैं, पॉलिटिकल साइंस के सीनियर प्रोफेसर संजय कुमार जो एन कॉलेज से आए हुए हैं, सामने बैठे हुए डीन सोशल साइंस जमवार साहब, नृपेंद्र श्रीवास्तव साहब, IQAC के कोऑर्डिनेटर मुकेश जी, अंजनी कुमार घोष जी, यूनिवर्सिटी के DSW डॉक्टर ऑफिसिएटिंग रजिस्ट्रार ब्रजेश बाबू, जयनंदन बाबू, सामने दीपक बाबू चौधरी जी, तमाम उपस्थित शिक्षकगण, प्यारे छात्रों, मीडिया के बंधुओं, मगध विश्वविद्यालय का यह सौभाग्य है कि G20 पर हम लोगों ने ही शुरुआत की थी और समापन हम ही कर रहे हैं। यह सौभाग्य है। सौभाग्य मैं इसलिए मानता हूँ तो G20 का प्रेसिडेंसी इंडिया को मिला। G20 क्या है, उस प्रेसिडेंसी का मायने क्या है, इसको समझाने के लिए पूरे देश में कार्यक्रम चले। लेकिन दुर्भाग्य है इस राज्य में गवर्नमेंट स्पॉन्सर्ड एक ही प्रोग्राम G20 का पटना यूनिवर्सिटी में होगा, लेकिन बिना किसी स्पॉन्सरशिप के मगध विश्वविद्यालय सौभाग्यशाली है कि हम लोगों ने कई एक प्रोग्राम, आप सभी जानते हैं कि G20 क्या है। अगर न्यू इंडिया, इमर्जिंग भारत की पहचान को आगे बढ़ाने का एक सशक्त माध्यम है। प्रेसिडेंसी हमको मिली और सौभाग्य से दिल्ली में नरेंद्र मोदी जैसा सशक्त व्यक्तित्व हमारा प्रधानमंत्री है। वो प्रधानमंत्री मोदी ने यह बताया कैसे प्रेसिडेंसी की जाती है और उन्होंने अपने एक्टिव पार्टिसिपेशन और फॉरेन एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर वी जयशंकर के सपोर्टिव एटीट्यूड एक्शन से जिस तरीके से हम लोगों ने सितंबर में 9-10 सितंबर को दिल्ली में G20 का समापन कार्यक्रम किया, वो अपने आप में महत्वपूर्ण है। G20 क्यों महत्वपूर्ण है? पहले शुरू के दिनों में सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर के बाद अमेरिका और रूस दो गुट में बटे हुए थे। अमेरिका बॉस बना हुआ था, विकसित देशों का, धनवान देशों का। अमेरिका के साथ ब्रिटेन था, जर्मनी था, पश्चिमी जर्मनी था, जर्मनी नहीं था, पश्चिमी जर्मनी था, फ्रांस था, ऑस्ट्रेलिया था, न्यूजीलैंड था। दूसरी तरफ रूस के साथ यूगोस्लाविया था, चेकोस्लाविया था। ये सब देश पूर्वी यूरोप के देश थे और हमारे जैसे अफ्रीका के देश थे, अंडर डेवलपिंग कंट्री थे। और हमारे जैसे देश भी, भारत का नॉन अलाइनमेंट तो था, लेकिन वो अगर खराब लगे एहतसाम भाई, वो कुछ नहीं था। सच यही था कि वो एक मीटिंग पॉइंट बन के रह गया था। पूरे विश्व में उसकी भूमिका मीडिया से लेकर के और जगह में सिर्फ अमीरों के अंदर था और कहीं उसकी पहचान नहीं। लेकिन प्रकारांतर में चेंज हुआ। रूस और चाइना नजदीक है। जो कम्युनिस्ट कंट्री एक दूसरे के विरोधी थे, चाइना और रूस एक साथ थे। चाइना अमेरिका के साथ आ गया, अमेरिका पाकिस्तान की तरफ झुक गया। वहां हिंदुस्तान, भारत अकेला संघर्ष करते हुए आगे बढ़ रहा था। इस समय करवट लेता है, बदलाव होता है, बदलाव हुआ। बदलाव आप देखिए कोविड काल में, जहां पूरी मानवता करा रही थी, वेस्टर्न यूरोप के लोग का डेथ रेट ज्यादा था, चाइना का डेथ रेट ज्यादा था, वेस्टर्न यूरोप में डेथ रेट ज्यादा था, ऑस्ट्रेलिया में डेथ रेट ज्यादा था, लेकिन भारत में भारतीयों का डेथ रेट सबसे पूरे विश्व में कम था। यह क्यों? कहीं न कहीं भारतीयता अपने योग और आयुर्वेद से, अपनी पुरानी सिस्टम से भारतीयों ने भारतीयता को बचाने का काम अपने देशी उपचार शक्ति से या प्राणायाम योग करके बचाने का काम किया। इस बीच में प्रेसिडेंसी हमको मिली। प्रेसिडेंसी में एक नया कॉन्सेप्ट आया, ग्लोबल साउथ। साउथ मतलब क्या होता है? अंतरराष्ट्रीय राजनीति की भाषा में साउथ मतलब अंडर डेवलपिंग कंट्री। डेवलपिंग कंट्री बहुत है, डेवलप कंट्री बहुत कम है। लेकिन पूरे विश्व में इकोनॉमी पर कब्जा डेवलप कंट्री का है। डेवलपिंग कंट्री प्रयास कर रहे हैं, भारत भी उसी का एक पार्टनर है। लेकिन वह दिन दूर नहीं कि भारत डेवलपिंग कंट्री से बढ़ करके कुछ दिनों में, अगले एक दशक में डेवलप्ड कंट्री की श्रेणी में आ जाएगा। G20 की परिकल्पना अमेरिका और संपन्न राष्ट्रों ने इस उद्देश्य से की कि हम अपने टेक्नोलॉजी से, अपने ज्ञान से डेवलपिंग कंट्री को भी एक्सचेंज करके उनके उत्थान का कारण बनेंगे। G20 शक्ति प्रदर्शित करने का एक साधन नहीं था। मैं मानता हूं कि अंतर्राष्ट्रीय राजनीति में यह चाइना को दिखाने के लिए तो जरूर है, इससे इनकार नहीं किया जा सकता। चाइना को चुनौती देने के लिए G20 इमर्ज कर रहा है। अनडाउटेडली चाइना को बताने के लिए कि हम G20 के देश, आपके जो आपका व्यवहार है पूरी जनता के साथ, मतलब विश्व के ग्लोबल लोगों के साथ धोखे और मक्कारी का जो व्यवहार है, डिच करने का जो व्यवहार है, उससे अलर्ट रहने की आवश्यकता है। तो उस वक्त यह महसूस अमेरिका और पश्चिमी देशों के लोगों ने महसूस किया कि भारत को अब लेकर के डेवलपिंग कंट्री की अगुवाई करनी चाहिए। और उसी कॉन्सेप्ट में ग्लोबल साउथ इमर्ज कर रहा है। आप जानते हैं कि बहुत बड़ा काम आर्थिक रूप से, सामरिक रूप से, नैतिक रूप से भी अपने अपने राष्ट्रों को उन्नत बनाने के लिए काम कर रहे हैं। आप जानते हैं इसी कड़ी में अमेरिकन यूनियन को भी G20 ने साथ खड़ा कर दिया। ये हमारी बहुत बड़ी नैतिक महादेश है। लेकिन अफ्रीका में जैसे मजबूत राष्ट्र भी हैं। टेक्नोलॉजी अफ्रीका से हमारा पुराना संबंध रहा है, दक्षिण अफ्रीका, और उन्होंने देश को अंग्रेजों से आज़ादी दिलाई। ये अपने आप में इम्पोर्टेंट था। तो कहीं न कहीं गांधी के रूप में भारत गांधीगिरी को अपना करके पूरे विश्व को नेतृत्व देने का काम कर रहा है। तो आज अवसर है कि हम लोग के बीच दक्षिण अफ्रीका से हमारे महामहिम उप उच्चायुक्त महोदय आए हैं। ये मगध विश्वविद्यालय के लिए गौरव की बात इसलिए है, जहाँ तक मुझे याद है 3-4 दशकों से मैं भी विश्वविद्यालय सेवा में हूँ। ब्रजेश बाबू जमुआर साहब, सुशील भैया बैठे हुए हैं, एहतसाम भाई, कोई डिप्टी हाई कमिश्नर किसी कैंपस में नहीं गया था। यह हम लोग का सौभाग्य है, तो हम लोग सबको बुलाते रहेंगे, आगे भी बुलाएंगे और इनका विधिवत हम लोग कार्यक्रम करते रहेंगे। और मैं इनसे आग्रह करूंगा एहतसाम भाई अविनाश ज्ञान जी से, अगर संभव हो तो कुछ यूनिवर्सिटी से MOU भी कराने की कोशिश की जाए। और अगर MOU कराने के लिए हमारे प्रतिनिधियों को दक्षिण अफ्रीका भेजने की जरूरत होगी, विद्यालय प्रशासन ये काम करेगा। विश्वविद्यालय उच्चायुक्त महोदय को मैं बताना चाहता हूँ कि मगध विश्वविद्यालय का एक पुराना गौरव और वैभव रहा है। में हमारी सार्थक प्रयास नहीं हुए। सबसे बड़ा चीज ये है कि हम लोगों ने काम कर रहे, तो हम लोगों ने कोशिश किया है कि 8 महीने में एक दूसरे की शिकायत का दौर खत्म करके हम लोग प्रगति के पथ पर आगे चले। तो हम समझते हैं सभी शिक्षकों में इसका भाव हुआ है और हमारे तमाम यहाँ बैठे हुए हैं। मैं तो बार बार बात बहुत करने की जरूरत नहीं है। आप कहीं भी जाइए, वो भाव, वो तत्म जब जहां यहां हम खड़े होते हैं, विश्वास को शुरू करते हैं। हमारे डिपार्टमेंट के सभी सहयोगियों में मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं, अपने पुराने मित्र और देता हूं। अंजनी जी हैं, सारे बच्चे हैं, यंगस्टर टीचर संग्रह है, तिवारी नाम नहीं याद है, सारे बच्चे हैं, कभी ना नहीं कहते हैं। जिस तन्मयता के साथ ये काम करते हैं, जैसे लगता है इनके घर में बिटिया की शादी, बिल्कुल उसी अंदाज में आप सभी अपनाइए, डिक्शनरी में ना नहीं रख करिए, काम करिए। बिजली खराब है, यहाँ बिजली का खराब है। परसों सुशील भैया थे औरंगाबाद, चिंता थी, डिप्टी हाई कमिश्नर साहब आ रहे हैं, दौड़ के आए और बिना विश्वविद्यालय के सहयोग के अवरोध के बाद भी बिजली ठीक कराते हैं। तो क्या यह बेटी की शादी का स्पिरिट उनमें नहीं है? अपना पैसा लगा करके उन्होंने बिजली को ठीक कराया है। मैं मानता हूँ एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन की विफलता है कि हम आपके साथ नहीं हो सके, मैं उसको स्वीकार करता हूँ। कहीं न कहीं एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में आज भी कमियां हैं। वो कमी क्या है? सिर्फ नकारात्मकता, निगेटिव भाव है, नेगेटिव एटीट्यूड है। आवश्यकता इस बात की है, मैं आप सबसे अपील करता हूँ, इस तरह के कार्यक्रम होते रहेंगे, मैं नहीं थकूंगा, आप भी मत थकिए। और मगध विश्वविद्यालय के नए भविष्य के निर्माण में आप सब सहयोग प्रदान करें। और इस उम्मीद के साथ इस तरह के कार्यक्रम और भी एहतसाम भाई नए एजेंडे के साथ, नए उत्साह के साथ अविनाश ज्ञान जी की सेवा लेकर के G20 के खत्म होने के बाद और भी लोगों को नए तरीके से हम लोग इसका स्वागत करते हैं। इसलिए मैं आप सबको मुबारकबाद देना चाहता हूँ। यह मगध विश्वविद्यालय का गौरव है, इसका समापन समारोह दिल्ली में राष्ट्राध्यक्षों के समिट में हुआ। आज समापन हम इस राज्य से सर्वप्रथम हम मुखिया बन के कर रहे हैं कि हम लोग इस कार्यक्रम को आउटकम प्रोग्राम को आज कर रहे हैं। मुझे आज ही महामहिम राष्ट्रपति जी आ रही हैं पटना में, उनके सम्मान में राज्यपाल जी ने कार्यक्रम भोज का कार्यक्रम रखना है। प्रोटोकॉल के तहत मुझे अभी जाना पड़ रहा है। मैं ट्रेन से, मैं खुद बीमार था, आप लोगों को मालूम है, बैकेट प्रॉब्लम था, मैं ट्रेन से जा रहा हूँ। बाकी की बातें आप महामहिम को सुनेंगे और सबके साथ फोटो सेशन करवा दीजिए। पूरे डिपार्टमेंट सारे टीचर्स के साथ टाइम पासेज मेमोरी स्टेज पर की एक करवा दीजिएगा सब। इसलिए मैं आप सबको मुबारकबाद देना चाहता हूँ और थैंक्स गौड़े साहब को है कि आप आए और हम लोग का मान बढ़ाया।
Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, thank you. Thank you for inviting us. Thank you, Honorable Vice Chancellor. Just I will request you, please stay. And this is the lecture of His Excellency, Charles Crowley Sahab. I think I should invite Charles Crowley Sahab. Okay, thank you. You are most welcome.
His guests, beautiful. Since my arrival yesterday, I've been nourished spiritually, gastronomically, by the food you have to offer. And after all, you are an agricultural state, and so the food was nice, it was fresh. If you don't report me, I will say it was better than the food in Delhi. Thank you. And so I come here to be nourished intellectually by engaging with you on this important topic of the G20 and the role of India and the role of the South in general. So I want to thank Vice Chancellor Shah, I want to thank Professor Khan, I want to thank the head of the Department of Public Administration, Mr. Avanas Gayan, also from the G20, for making this trip possible and for making it possible for me to speak to you. This state, of course, is not only renowned for its religion and spirituality, but also for your contribution to the academia and especially mathematics. And without the discovery of zero, the number zero, I don't think we would have had computation. So this fourth industrial revolution, digitization, is driven partly because of that discovery. And can you imagine that in this state of Bihar, such a remarkable contribution to humanity would have been made? So if it happened thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago, even with the Buddha, it can happen again. So it is within you. And we look forward to what will come and your continued contribution to the development of humanity. And of course, education, as Dr. Mandela said, is the personal engine for development. So through education, we can achieve so much. So I'm happy to be engaging with you. So before I speak to the G20, let me in broad strokes speak to you about Africa-India relations. Of course, I think the history of interaction between Africa and India goes back centuries. Perhaps it's not recorded, but I remember when I went to Nika Islands, I saw the artifacts. We were one continent. If you go back into, we were the recipient of India's not Mahatma there, he was a lawyer, and he was India, a Mahatma, because he developed Satyagraha in his struggle against not apartheid then, but at least human abuses on the continent and human rights abuses that were experienced and meted out against blacks and Indians as well. And so it was therefore no surprise when in the United Nations in 1946, the first country to raise the issue, Professor, of the treatment of blacks and terrorists that we have with India is not something that came yesterday. It exists for many centuries. And so we are always grateful for what I think one of your ministers called an all-weather friend. You are not only there when it goes well and it. So in the 1990 relations between our two countries. And of course this relations is very simple. We are both members of IPSA. We are important players in the non-aligned movement in the group of 77. And so as the South, we have always worked together, defining our objectives and pursuing peace and security, pursuing development for all in an inclusive manner. And so therefore it gives me great pleasure to speak to you about the G20 and India's key role this year as the president of the G20. You know, you are still the president of the G20. Brazil will only take the chairship on the 1st of December. So there's another summit being hosted, this time virtually, on the 22nd of November, and our presidents and heads of state will again participate in there. Because you see, Mr. Vice Chancellor, India does not only believe that we should come with beautiful statements. If you look at the outcome document of the G20, it's a very thick document, dense document, full of promises. And so under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, he said, no, let's convene once more as heads of state to reflect on the commitments we have made and to see how we give practical expression to this. And so we thank the Prime Minister, we thank India for not only being happy with a document that sounds good, but more importantly, by investing time to see how do we practically implement the decisions that were taken. And I think that is a wonderful work. Because many a time we go to conferences, whether it's UN conferences, whether G20 conferences, and our people, and we say, no, we had a wonderful outcome document. And the people ask, what does it mean for us? And so I think Prime Minister Modi ji, with that vision in mind, is already anticipating that question from our members, from our citizens whom we represent, to say, what is it that we can do as leaders? How can we practically give expression to what is written on this beautiful document? And so let me go back to this document as I reflect on the G20 New Delhi Summit, positioning of India as a key bridge to the global South. So Excellencies, colleagues, friends, it would be an understatement to say that the backdrop to the conference was a very difficult one. The geopolitical tensions that arise from the Ukraine-Russian conflict was of course high. Many people anticipated that there may not be an outcome document, that this Delhi summit will be a failure, and that for the first time in the history of the G20, the leaders would not be able to agree. That was the pessimism. That was the atmosphere as countries approached the summit. And that fear was not misplaced. Not misplaced because in all the ministerial meetings, there were no outcomes. There were no consensus because of these paragraphs related to the geopolitics and Ukraine in particular. And so it would take the leadership of an India to galvanize this polarized world and bring them together and to find consensus around this very pressing and immediate challenge. And India was extremely generous by paying tribute to South Africa, to Brazil and Indonesia, in coalescing the world around this paragraph that was so divisive, the one paragraph or the paragraphs that could have synced the outcome document. And so we were thankful and grateful to work with India to arrive at the consensus. We experience that in our own countries, which is diverse and probably some of the most diverse countries. And so we know what it is to bring diverse peoples together, diverse ideas together, religious differences, how we bring that together to work out the pathway forward. So I think that experience we should never underestimate. Even the experience we had in South Africa, bringing black and white and India together to form one nation, to form one country, to form what some call the rainbow nation of God, so that we are together as one nation. And so we want to congratulate India for that wonderful achievement of presenting to the world, because it cannot be about us as individual countries, it must be about the people. If the G20 is to be successful, if governments are to be successful, we must ensure that our people deliver. And so, as we say goodbye to the Vice Chancellor, you know, I was in that seat for a brief second. The Vice Chancellor was very generous by offering me his seat. And I say, oh, I am not up to that responsibility. Please take the name tag away. I am not the Vice Chancellor. So that was very generous of him, very humble of him to offer me his chair, and I shall remember that. That wonderful gesture on his part. Not that I am great or big, but it was just very kind, touching when he did that. So I want to convey through you, Professor Khan, that you please thank him on my behalf for that wonderful gesture, but also for the reception I received in your country and at the university. As I continue, colleagues, I am emphasizing the point of the G20 being people-centered. There are only 7 years to the year 2030. When we as countries have to deliver on the SDGs. And to be honest, we have not done a great job about it. India has done extremely well. You have maintained exceptional growth rates. You are the highest growing growing economy amongst emerging economies, but also globally, even compared with advanced economies. So the fear is that as a result of COVID, as a result of debt that countries had to incur when they had to deal with the COVID pandemic, the focus on the implementation of the SDGs have suffered, and countries in general are lagging behind. We have moved backwards instead of forward. And so, what is so remarkable about the outcome document, the Delhi Declaration, is that it refocused the attention of leaders to the SDGs, to development. It did that because India knows what it takes. India knows the challenges that it has in terms of achieving development. India knows that there are countries in the south that are facing similar challenges and that we have to address those. And therefore, that, my dear friends, is possibly next to the admission of the African Union as a permanent member of the G20, one of the best outcomes is a refocus on development as an important priority for our leaders. So it states, for example, G20 welcome commitment to better integrate the perspectives of the developing countries into the future G20 agenda and strengthen a continent that almost decent size as you want to believe. As in the future, we have youth, we have young people, and aging comes. You cannot grow level 80. So the world on Africa, in Asia in particular, to grow. An important issue that addressed is the issue of climate change, because flooding, we see what happens if there's no water coming, we see what happens if it was almost wiped out completely, the infrastructure as a result of flooding, of tornadoes, etc. So climate change is real, and regrettably it is us in the global south who is not responsible historically for the state of this climate. It is us that suffer the most. And so the G20 again committed to addressing the challenge of G20 of climate change. But importantly, if you read the outcome document, there's a reference to what is called CBDR, common but differentiated responsibility. And what that means is that the developed countries that use carbon to grow and industrialize are more responsible for the state of our economy, for the state of our climate, and therefore they are also responsible to assist developing countries financially and through the transfer of technology to improve the economy. But what has happened in the last couple of years, at least in the time when I was working on G20 matters, is that they are shifting that responsibility to developing countries. They say, India, your numbers are quite high. You should be reducing emissions. They are telling South Africa, China, and we are saying, but my friends, we are developing, we have other needs. And so the issue of just transition is an important reference, because what just transition acknowledge is that yes, we must decarbonize, but we must also take into consideration the developmental perspectives, the labor impact of these things, the employment impact, and the cost impact for developing countries. And therefore, there's a historical commitment by developed countries that they will fund the transition of developing countries. And so, hopefully, COVID has had a devastating impact that they will assist developing countries and they will help with debt restructuring. Sometimes, unfortunately, those processes take very long. The need is for today to address hunger. The need is for today to open schools. The need is for today to administer medicine. But negotiations about debt restructuring can take years. And so we must find a speedier way to implement. But those of you that study international relations will recall that when the finance crisis in 2008 struck, and prior to, by and large, responsible for the financial crisis, when they had to be bailed out, that money was available almost instantaneously. And that is the unfairness in the system. That when it comes to capital, when it comes to banks, then the globe responds, and they respond by providing trillions of dollars. But when human life is at stake, and especially that human life is in the South, and that human life is in Africa and Asia, we can take our time negotiating debt packages, debt restructuring packages. The same with conflict. If people are dying under occupation in Ukraine, then we are fast and wait by can be. And their dream of a homeland, their dream of independence can be. So the system between North and has to be addressed if we want to make progress. And the road here in Africa, we are also key within the BRICS formation. And we had the pleasure of hosting BRICS in August. You held your summit of G20 in September. And at that summit, we expanded also the BRICS family, because remember, your slogan is that we are a family. There's the human family that you believe in. And because we are family, you want to be inclusive. Therefore, the needs of the South, the need of Africa, feature so strongly in your outcome document. We have something similar. It's called Ubuntu. It says that I am because you are. So it means that we are interconnected, we are inextricably linked. And because of that, we also had a focus in our BRICS summit on Africa. And the theme for our BRICS summit was BRICS and Africa Partnership for Mutual Acceleration of Growth, Sustainable Growth, Development, and Inclusive Multilateralism. Inclusive Multilateralism. And in your statement, in your declaration, the issue of a reformed multilateral economic financial system is emphasized. And we hope that those reforms will come. Because where is India today? India is the 5th largest economy. But your position in the world ranking, whether it's economically or politically, is not reflected. India should be in a transformed UN Security Council, should be, and should have more voice in the IMF and the World Bank. Africa should be in the Security Council permanently. Africa should have greater voice in the IMF and World Bank. And so as partners, we must continue that struggle to reflect a reality that corresponds with the current situation and not the situation of 1946 and not 1945 when these things were developed. And so, my dear friends, we will understand that the need for solidarity is greater today than ever. The need for Africa and Asia, the need for Africa and India to collaborate is crucial. You know, when you want to change something, it's not happening easily, isn't it? You have to invest. If you are poor and a peasant, you live on the farms. If you want to change your environment, you have to educate yourself, isn't it? And sometimes that the effort it takes for a young person living on a farm to educate him or herself is more difficult than for someone that lives in the city, is close to school and has got all the resources. Brings so much joy. There was your generation, and here you are in your numbers, young men and young women educating themselves and advancing themselves in terms of their educational outcomes. This world is complex, dear friends, dear colleagues, dear young people. And it's complex because we as adults have failed you in many respects. We have not lived up to the commitments of the UN Charter that promises peace and security and a better life for all in larger freedom. That was the pledge we made in 1945, 1946. We make those pledges when we adopt the SDGs, and we fail you time and time again. My advice to you is don't look at us as governments, as global leaders. You start. You make the difference. You make the difference through your education, through the investment in self. Discussing these things, problematizing it, writing about it, attending seminars. You know, the social media give you that access. You are no longer in a small village where your voice doesn't count. You can amplify that voice through the very mechanism, digitization that has propelled your development as a country. It can also, and it must also translate into changes globally. And what I like about you is that you are educating yourself, you are training yourself. You will be the diplomats, the prime ministers. Yes. You will be the Jaishankars of the future. And G20 president in the 20 years, he will hold the G20 presidency again, and you will be in charge of it. And may it be that when next time you host a G20, and when you are in charge, may there no longer promises of a better life. but may it be a reality. May it be that when you take stock in 20 on health, on women empowerment, on patient SDGs, and yes, we implement. Yes, we are 99% there. Yes, we are 80% there. That will be your contribution. So I wish well, and I look forward to our
since you are to know the events, unable to answer, since you are part of this event, in the absence of Honorable Vice Chancellor, who is the president of this event, so standing now, you will get over this. Okay? I would request you, after I will teach the person, Priyanka ji, Divya, please come. Sanjay ji and then Avinash.
Thank you so much, sir. In this series of events, now I would like to invite our special guest of honor, Mr. Avinash Gyan.
Media interaction. This 5 minutes.
For media interaction is going on.
Okay, celebrate 5 minutes. Just wait 5 minutes. No, we are not closing. Function is going on.
Somebody from audience also requested. So what do you want? Front to me.
Function is still going on. Please wait.
For that reason, every knows about it. So that
I would request, please wait.
the message is that the work
मीडिया बंद जा चुके हैं आपसे मैडम
After a small break, the session is resumed. Our special guest of honor has rightfully highlighted how the global south has shared future, common challenges, and similar path to development, which is reflected in the motto of this G20 New Delhi Summit, that is Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam. It highlights the symbiotic nature of the earth, and it highlights that divided development can never lead to a just society of earth which is one. So, in a hurry, this lecture was started because our Vice Chancellor sir has to go. So his brief introduction could not happen at that time. Now I would like to present his brief introduction. You would like to know, you would be pleased to know that Mr. Cedric Charles Crowley, who is currently working as Deputy High Commissioner to India, Crowley has worked as diplomat in various organizations with a demonstrated experience of diplomacy and global governance. He is enriched with skills in political communication, analytical skills, expertise in conflict resolutions, international negotiations, and public speaking. Crowley has wide-ranging experience of working in many organizations. He was associated with Foreign Service Department in the Department of International Relations and Cooperation, Pretoria, for 8 years. He was counselor and deputy political coordinator in South African Permanent Mission to the United Nations, which aims to promote and achieve a prosperous, peaceful, democratic and united Africa and contribute to a just and equitable world through effective multilateralism. During 2013 to 15, he was the head of United Nations Department of Peace Building Affairs liaison team to South African Development Community, where he contributed importantly in joint working of these two organizations, namely United Nations and SADC, to strengthen collaboration in areas of conflict prevention, conflict management, as well as conflict resolution. A graduate of Stellenbosch University and a PG of University of Western Cape. Crowley has also contributed at the local level too. He has been a councillor in Stellenbosch municipality, namely Stellenbosch Transitional Local Council in 1995. He was a senior officer of academic support in University of Western Cape from 1995 to 2004. Crowley has polished his skills by undergoing various courses, namely a course in conflict studies from Uppsala University, Sweden, a course in global affairs from New York University, and a course in mediation and negotiations from Norway. After his brief introduction, now it is time to listen our chief speaker, Mr. Avinash Kyan. I request him to please come on the dais and deliver his speech.
Very good afternoon, young students, professors, Khan. We met him just 3 years back, and I find him very energetic and hardworking person, and his team, young students, Ravinji, okay, lots of faculties who are very excited to host our chief guest and listen to him, his view on G20 and what he think about Magadh University and the G20 and India, South Africa lesson. So here I will give you a little bit brief about G20. See, Ambassador is the finest mind from South Africa, and he was in the negotiations, tough negotiations for the G20 meetings. So he knew all those know-how, what happened during the meetings, what was the room, negotiations. I will give you a little bit about hosting G20 in India and what was our vision to give G20 color as Vasudev Kutumbakam. Okay. So we, after listening to great diplomat Mr. Charles, for me it's very difficult to talk about G20. Yes, he is a great orator. I believe you students have got those goosebumps when he was talking and he was motivating you to become the next Prime Minister and the head of the next G20. So I just wanted to tell you, current G20 head, the secretary is from nowhere else from your own state, Bihar. Mr. Muktesh Priyadarshi, secretary of G20 is from your state. Okay. The negotiator, I- Excellency also talked about, it was very difficult to get find consensus, and this thick declarations, 112 points, was very difficult, and that we had come out. That is, and again, there is three names, Mr. Amitabh Khan, Ashish. Ashish is again from, he is IFS, again from Bihar only. So you have to feel proud. You have to think you are going to lead this world. You are going to lead another 5-year or 10-year G20. Okay. So we hope that you will be having those dreams in your mind and you will start preparing from today to prepare yourself for the next G20 or for IFF exam to get yourself ready for the next taking a leadership position at the negotiation table. Okay. If we talk about little bit about how the G20 functions, I am here to tell you about G20 when it started. See, it was started, it was 1997-98. There was financial crisis in Asia. So then there was financial banks and financial institutions was interacting each other to help the governments. So they were started shaping G20 in 1997 and 98. So that becomes country heads organizations in 2007 and 2009. So another financial crisis when country heads had come out and they said they decided finally to, okay, we will work more on the financial crisis and the institutions for shaping this new economic orders to help to safeguard from the economic crisis. Okay, so 19 countries we have in G20 and one in European Union. So now we are going to have two unions, one in European Union and another is South African Union. So this was the commitment last G20 meeting in Indonesia from our Prime Minister to our African Union President that this is ये मोदी का कमिटमेंट है और हम प्रेसिडेंट को अफ्रीकन यूनियन को G20 में इंक्लूड करेंगे. So we achieved that. We got the support from the all world leaders, from the Biden and all the G20 leaders. So even China has supported us for including African Union in G20. So we should give big clap to our leadership, Prime Minister Modi. So there are some organizations working under G20 for well-being and supporting financial help to the world, to the G20 countries, as United Nations, IMF, World Bank, WHO, WTO, ILO, OECD. So there are few international organizations who work for G20 for shaping up the economy, trades, and the SDG programs. Okay, there is one terminology that is Troika. So Troika is nothing but three countries, the first country Indonesia, India, and the next country is Brazil. So these three countries work together for the Troika for consensus, for their declarations, making the documented for the policies. So this is called Troika. These three SEPA are working together and, on the declaration. Yes. So there are SEPA tracks. So there are some focus areas. Just want this is for your information. So these are agriculture working group, anti-corruption working group, culture working group, development working group, digital economy working group, disaster risk reduction group, environment and climate sustainable working group, health working group, tourism working group, trade and investment working group. These are the working groups. The committees work from all G20 countries. They come together and discuss about those areas. Okay. And the focus areas are framework working group, inclusion, joint funds and health, task force, international secretariat office, permanent of G20. We work on collective. This is a forum, right? We work with our partner countries, Troika, all those safe different working groups, financial institutions, finance secretaries, they come together. So there are engagement groups. So different engagement groups for Business 20. Business 20 contains for all business houses from G20 countries. They come together and discuss about how they can strengthen, how they can cooperate for the economy, for the businesses. Civil 20 is talking about non-government organizations. They talk about the cultural things. They talk about society. They talk about actually voice for civil society organizations. Then Labor 20 is come in 2011 in Paris. So the Labor 20 is for labor to safeguarding our labor forces who are working for the industries. Okay. Parliament 20 we had recently this month Parliament 20 sessions where all those G20 countries, Parliament head of the Parliament is come together and they talk about how share our practices, best practices. What are those findings for best practices across the startup urban 20 talk about urban and smart cities. So technology is going to what it is for how they can share the technology, how they can share the findings, how they can share the workings. Again, the Women 20 and the Youth 20. So these are the working groups where they work tirelessly for 1 year in 112 meetings in India in 50 plus. Okay, there are some findings. I'm going to tell you. Okay. So we had 200 plus, 220 plus meetings and 17 ministerial meetings in 60 plus cities across India. 112 outcome documents, which Excellency was talking about, that is from our top brains who are working for the negotiation table. Inclusion of African Union, 55 members, 1.4 billion people, and 3 trillion economy in G20. In one move, this G20 become from 20 countries to 75 countries. So this is great achievement from our leadership. Then climate change, they have commitment for tripling their commitment for financing in climate change. biofuel alliance, that was again a different concept, different out of the box thinking from the government of India to come out with the biofuel alliance. Then MSMEs and a startup 20 is included this year, startup 20, and yes, there is one modern route come out from India, a spice route. The old spice route has come out for the logistics from India to France, Germany, Italy, and Europe through UAE and Saudi Arabia. And of course, European Union wanted to link that to African country as well. So Africa, you might be knowing, Africa is rich for minerals. That minerals is going to help us for all those electricity generation and the other engineering works. So it includes everyone: Africa, Middle East, European Union, India. So this has their own economic benefits in the future. So Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, one earth, one family, one future is the true sense of G20 for Delhi Declaration. So this is a great moment for us, taking a leadership in new diplomatic order, shaping up across the world. We should thank our top best diplomats and our leadership. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. It was very interesting to witness the real functioning of G20 through various working groups, committees, focus areas, and task forces. Now, in this series of events, now it is time to listen our key speaker, Dr. Sanjay Kumar, who is an eminent political scientist and a faculty in the Department of Political Science, AN College, Patna. So I request Dr. Sanjay Kumar, please come on the dais and enlighten us with your thoughtful words.
सबसे पहले मैं यहाँ मंच पर तमाम जो विद्वजन हैं, खास करके एहतसाम सर ने मुझे मौका दिया बोलने का। ये अविनाश ज्ञान जी हैं और ये डिप्टी हाई कमिश्नर क्लाउडी जी हैं, तो वाइस चांसलर साहब हैं, सिन्हा साहब, और हमारे वाइस चांसलर जो अभी अभी गए, उन्होंने मुझे ये अवसर दिया है कि मैं थोड़ा प्रकाश डाल सकूं इस विषय में। अभी तक जितना भी आपने स्पीच सुना है वो एक तरह से हम कह सकते हैं, ज्ञान सर ने हमें बताया, ज्ञान जी ने, कि पूरा G20 का स्ट्रक्चर क्या है, फंक्शनिंग क्या है, व्हाट आर डिफरेंट ग्रुप्स, एंड क्लाउडी साहब ने हमें इंडो साउथ अफ्रीका का जो रिलेशनशिप्स है उसके बारे में बताया और किस प्रकार अफ्रीका के देशों का एक तरह से जो आवाज़ है उसको G20 में मुखर किया है भारत। मैं शुरुआत करता हूं अपना लेक्चर का कि ये भारत के लिए प्रेजेंट गवर्नमेंट के लिए एक तरह से हम कह सकते हैं डिप्लोमेटिक कू। डिप्लोमेटिक कू इसलिए है कि ये हिस्टोरिक एक तरह से आप कह सकते हैं G20 था, जिसमें कि पहली बार अफ्रीकन यूनियन के 55 देशों को एक कंसोलिडेटेड वे में इसमें जोड़ा गया पहली बार। साउथ अफ्रीका तो पहले से था ही, और ये एक लंबा सफर तय करता है G20, जब इसका फॉर्मेशन 1998 में हुआ था, और उस समय सिर्फ मिनिस्ट्रियल लेवल पर फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर्स और बैंक ऑफिशियल्स आपस में मिल करके इकोनॉमिक प्रॉब्लम पर सॉर्ट आउट करते थे। बाद में हेड ऑफ द स्टेट्स 2008 में जो वर्ल्ड ग्लोबल क्राइसिस और इकोनॉमिक क्राइसिस, उसके बाद उन लोगों की बैठक होनी शुरू हुई, और उस पीरियड से अब तक, और जहाँ तक अफ्रीका का सवाल है, पास्ट में भी जब मनमोहन सिंह की सरकार थी तो ये कोशिश की गई थी कि जो अफ्रीकन कंट्रीज हैं उनको G20 में एक मुखर आवाज़ दिया जाए, लेकिन वो डिप्लोमेटिक को हम नहीं कर सकते हैं। अभी का डिप्लोमेटिक को इसलिए कर सकते हैं कि जो एंटिसिपेशन था शुरुआत से, चाइना और रसिया दोनों भाग नहीं ले रहे थे, उनके प्रीमियर नहीं आए थे, उनके रिप्रेजेंटेटिव जो थे सेकंड रेट के लीडर्स थे वहाँ से। इन लोगों का एक तरह से हम कह सकते हैं सॉफ्ट विरोध था। चाइना चाह रहा था कि यूनानिमस डिसीजन ना हो, एक ज्वाइंट डिक्लेरेशन जो है जिस पर इस बार 100% सहमति बनी है, वो सहमति ना हो। और रसिया चाह रहा था कि यूक्रेन रसिया का जो वार है उसमें रसिया को एग्रेसर नहीं बताया जाए। इन दोनों चीजों को ध्यान में रखते हुए जिस प्रकार से डिप्लोमेटिक मैनेवरिंग जो है भारत ने किया है वो काबिल तारीफ है। हमारे फाइनेंस विदेश मिनिस्टर्स भी काबिल तारीफ है कि इन सबों को रहते हुए भी आप पूरा टेक्स्ट देखेंगे तो जो कम्युनिके है उसको जब आप देखेंगे तो आप पाएंगे कि रशियन एग्रेशन की चिंता उसमें जिक्र नहीं है। हाँ, कई पैराग्राफ्स ऐसे हैं जिसमें कि रसिया का जिक्र है लेकिन उस एग्रेशन के रूप में नहीं है। चाइना भी अंत में उसने सहमति दे दी, इस ज्वाइंट जो स्टेटमेंट था उसकी सहमति दे दी गई। तो एक तरह से हम कह सकते हैं कि हमारी एक डिप्लोमेटिक विक्ट्री है। चाइना जिसके साथ हमारा संबंध बॉर्डर डिस्प्यूट है हम सभी जानते हैं, और पिछले 3 सालों से हम लोग का एक तरह से हम कह सकते हैं आप कह सकते हैं कि हम लोगों का नेगोशिएशन या फिर बातचीत भी जो है वो टूट चुका है। और हम लोग जो है, और ये चाइना ने शुरुआत किया है, हम नॉर्थ में चाइना से बुरी तरह घिरे हुए हैं। पाकिस्तान भी हमारा एक तरह से बहुत अच्छे रिलेशनशिप में नहीं है। रसिया पर हमारी डिपेंडेंसी है ऑयल को लेकर के और कुछ शस्त्र को लेकर के वहाँ डिप्लोमेसी है। हम पुराने समय में जो रसिया ने हमारा मदद किया है पूर्व सोवियत संघ ने, उसके एक तरह से हम ऑब्लाइज्ड हैं। लेकिन आप एक चीज ध्यान रखिए, इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस जो है इमोशन से गाइड नहीं होता है। इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस में जो रियल नेशनल इंटरेस्ट है वो देखा जाता है। कल के जो दुश्मन हैं आज दोस्त बन सकते हैं, आज के जो दोस्त हैं कल दुश्मन भी बन सकते हैं। आज के समय में जब ये शुरुआत हुई थी G20 का, तो उस समय ये वेस्ट सेंट्रिक हुआ करता था। उस समय एशिया, अफ्रीका की तो बात छोड़ दीजिए, एशिया से भी जो देश के डेवलपिंग कंट्री उनका भी इसमें एक तरह से आवाज नहीं होता था। लेकिन आज के डेट में हम उससे भी आगे निकल चुके हैं। और हमारा ये USA की भी मजबूरी थी भारत को सपोर्ट करने का। ज्वाइंट डिक्लेरेशन पर उसने भी सहमति दी, कंसेंसस दिया। उसकी मजबूरी ये थी कि जब चाइना और रसिया नजदीक आने लगे तो एशिया में या थर्ड वर्ल्ड कंट्रीज में उनका कोई इंटरेस्ट को सर्व करने वाला कंट्री नहीं दिखलाई दे रहा था। तो ऐसे समय में इंडिया को साथ देना उसकी मजबूरी थी। एक तरह से हम कह सकें तो इंटरनेशनल सिचुएशंस और नेशनल जो हमने फॉरेन पॉलिसी में जो बदलाव किए हैं, ये दोनों बोथ आर रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर USA में है। लेकिन हमारी इकॉनमी एट पार है और हम जो है हमारे पास यंग पॉपुलेशन बहुत ज़्यादा है, एज सेम एज इन साउथ अफ्रीका। लेकिन और मैं ये भी देख रहा हूँ कि अगले 20-30 साल तक जो इंटरनेशनल सिचुएशंस है मोर और लेस यही रहेगा या फिर वो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा इंडिया के फेवर में रहेगा। तो हमारे जो लीडरशिप हैं, हमारे जो लीडर्स हैं, इनकी बहुत बड़ी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि इंडियन इंटरेस्ट को, नेशनल इंटरेस्ट को कैसे ये आगे बढ़ाएं। तो ऐसी स्थिति में ये जो और जब G20 की शुरुआत हो रही थी, हर कोने से ये दिखलाई दे रहा था इस बार कंसेंसस नहीं बनेगा, स्टेटमेंट्स नहीं आएंगे। लेकिन ये एक दिन पहले ही ये जो ज्वाइंट स्टेटमेंट आया 100% कंसेंसस के साथ, वो अचानक दैट वाज ए सरप्राइज। सभी लोगों के सामने ये सरप्राइज था। इसीलिए हम कह सकते हैं कि हमारी डिप्लोमेटिक विक्ट्री है। जहाँ तक क्लाइमेट चेंज का मामला है, जिस पर जितने डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज हैं वो एक तरह से अपने आप को असहाय महसूस कर रहे थे।
वर्ल्ड का धरती का टेम्परेचर लगभग 1.5 डिग्री जो है वो हर 10 वर्ष में बढ़ रहा है। अगर यही रफ्तार रही तो गर्मी काफी बढ़ जाएगी। इसको ओवरकम करने के लिए जैसा कि हमारे कमिश्नर ये डिप्टी हाई कमिश्नर ने बताया कि बहुत ट्रिलियंस ऑफ मनी की जरूरत है, तो ये डिमांड किया गया है भारत के द्वारा कि तत्काल में एक हेवी अमाउंट दिया जाए ताकि ये जो क्लाइमेट चेंज का काम है उसको बखूबी निभाया जा सके। और जो रोड मैप बनाया गया है भारत के द्वारा, ये सिर्फ इसी मीटिंग के लिए नहीं है, ये आगे आने वाले ढेर सारे जो होंगे उसके लिए नजीर बनेगा, उसके लिए गाइडिंग प्रिंसिपल्स बनेगा। उस नाते भारत का ये डिप्लोमेटिक विक्ट्री है। तो ये सारी स्थितियां हैं। और सबसे अच्छी बात है कि भारत सिर्फ बोल नहीं रहा है, भारत कर रहा है। अभी अगले महीने नवंबर में एक वर्चुअल मीटिंग्स भी है G20 नेशंस का, और उसमें भी बहुत मजबूती के साथ वर्ल्ड के जितने भी इश्यूज हैं उनको रखा जाएगा और कोशिश की जाएगी कि उसको मनवाया जाए। जो पैसा रिक्वायर्ड है क्लाइमेट चेंज से फाइट करने के लिए, हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज भी बस हो करके प्रदान करेंगे। देखिए, इंटरनेशनल रिलेशन कोई वैल्यू, कोई मोरल भले इंडियन फॉरेन पॉलिसी में हो, लेकिन वर्ल्ड में इस टाइप का कुछ होता नहीं। जब तक व्यवस्था नहीं होती है, दो देशों का इंटरेस्ट आपस में कॉमन नहीं होता है, तब तक रिलेशनशिप बनने का कोई चांस नहीं है। तो वेस्ट जो है अब विवश हो चुका है, और इसलिए ईस्ट के साथ नॉर्थ जो है अब विवश हो चुका है। इसलिए ग्लोबल साउथ के साथ उसके पास आने की सिवा और कोई चारा नहीं है। और ये जो शुरुआत हुई थी G20 की, उसमें वसुधैव कुटुंबकम का जो नारा दिया गया था, डाइवर्सिटीज जो डाइवर्स जो कल्चर्स हैं उसको प्रदर्शित किया गया था, उन सब के पीछे भी एक इंटरेस्ट है। ये इंटरेस्ट ये है कि हम अपने कंट्री के डाइवर्सिटीज को बता रहे हैं, हम अपने पोटेंशियल को बता रहे हैं, और ये पोटेंशियल जान करके हमारा ट्रेड जो है पार्टिसिपेटिंग कंट्रीज के साथ बढ़ेगा। ये बाइलैटरल भी हमारा फायदा देगा। मल्टीलैटरल तो फायदा देगा ही देगा, लेकिन बाइलैटरल रिलेशंस में भी हमें कई फायदे होंगे। डाइवर्सिटीज की बात जब हो रही थी तो हमारे डिप्टी हाई कमिश्नर साहब ने बताया कि ये जो आपकी डाइवर्सिटीज है वो एक तरह से डाइवर्स सिचुएशंस में भी यूनिटी लाने की कोशिश है, और इस नाते वर्ल्ड लेवल पर भी जो डाइवर्सिटीज है उसको यूनिटी में आपने बदला है, ये आपके कंट्री में ही संभव है। तो इस चीज को हम चरितार्थ भी कर रहे हैं, और मुझे नहीं लगता है कि आप इम्पेशेंट होंगे, काफी सुबह से सुन रहे हैं। मैं यहीं पर विराम लगाता हूँ अपनी बात को। थैंक यू।
Very successfully, India achieved consensus document in the G20, which was very the other countries were very much apprehensive about that, and how India successfully put forth the concerns of global south at the platform of G20, which is a club of mainly developed countries. In this series now, I would like to request Dr. Anjani Kumar Ghosh sir. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. I would request Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor B.R.K. Sinha sir, please come on the dais and enlighten us with your motivating words. Thank you.
good afternoon to all of you. And my very dear friend from South Africa and His Highness Professor, Cedric Charles Crowley. So I am very happy to be with you on this day in our university in Bihar, in India. And thank you. So you are not less than professor as you have thought. And our other dear friends and dignitaries sitting on this desk, our university faculty, members, students of this university, including research scholars, and sitting behind us, they are the pillar of this program and the media persons. Thank you to all of you. I would like to say something as I was told earlier meeting regarding the New Delhi Summit, positioning of India as a key bridge to the global south. I think everything is related with the G20. Everybody has explained what is G20. Since I am a geographer, and in geography we study the political geography also, the economic geography also, social geography also, urban geography, population geography, and what not geography. Everything is sovereign countries and European Union and African Union. I am very glad to come to know that African Union has been added in the G20 as the 21st member on 9 in 2023 at New Delhi in Pragati Maidan. So this is a great achievement of our nation under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. Because this achievement has been only because of his hard work and sincere effort. He tried his best to garner the support of 100% consensus from all the G20 countries in favor of joining as the 21st member of South African Union. And that is why Deputy High Commissioner is here, and this is another addition to the achievement. G20 was formed by G7. This is just for the knowledge for the student, in which Canada, the USA, Germany, France, Italy, Japan, and the United Kingdom were the G7 members. But later on, due to several financial crises in the world, and especially on the
continent of Asia, the significance or the importance of G20 was realized by different countries of the world. And G20 was formed on 26 September 1999. It was formed by the G7 realizing the potentiality of the global South countries in the world. The first G20 summit was held in Washington, D.C. in 2008. And from 2008 onward, now every year, G20 meeting is held in different countries of the G20 nations. The 2023 G20 New Delhi Summit was the 18th one. And this is also one of the great achievements of India, that India, under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, garnered the support to bring the G20 meeting in New Delhi this year. And this was the achievement because this was the opportunity to hold this meeting for the first time in India. So this was the first meeting in India, and hope for the best to again organize the same meeting in the near future. The theme of the summit was, others have also told, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The meaning of this in ancient Sanskrit language is one family, one earth, and one future. It means these three words include the whole world. The whole world in one nest. It means all the nations of the world have to work with honesty, regularity, and punctuality just to help increase the quality of life of the people of this planet. That is still not fully realized because of so many political upheavals, so many political interests in different parts of the world. That is why I think this 2023 G20 meeting held in our country has tried his best to garner the 100% consensus from the G20 nations that how to help each country people. The position of India in 2023 G20 New Delhi Summit has been of paramount importance, as India will work as a key bridge to the global south because the decision made at New Delhi G20 meeting will determine the future of our people, of our planet Earth. That's why we can say this has been a great achievement of India during this summit. And this should be considered as one of the important outcome of the meeting. Global South, what is Global South? You have just learned, you have just listened from other speakers. Global South generally includes underdeveloped economic countries. And this is defined on the basis of politics, technology, wealth, and demography. In this Global South, the major region is Latin America, Asia, Africa, Oceania. But the major countries are India, China, Indonesia, Nigeria, Mexico City. These are the major countries of global south which have maximum land and the maximum people of the world. And we should realize once we have maximum land, maximum people, as our friend Cedric said, that young people of global south is the great wealth for future development. And our Prime Minister in India in the past that we have enough human. The thing is to utilize them properly at the right time, move forward speedily. So that is also included, that is also the part of the G20 agreement. As I said, inclusion of African Union is very important outcome of G20 summit. India successfully mustered 100% consensus around the Delhi Declaration regarding dilution in the position taken by the United States and European Union on Russia. This has been a great achievement of our leader, that they got the consensus from all countries members. Also, 100% consensus was also garnered on United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, climate actions, green development initiatives, multilateral financing, digital public infrastructure, artificial intelligence, and international taxation. So our Honorable Prime Minister has received 100% consensus. This is the great outcome, and we should feel proud for this, that our nation is marching forward, and in future I think it is not far that India will be the champion in leading for the overall development of India as well as the world. Prime Minister Modi views this summit as India's diplomatic milestone. This is also the outcome, and we should take proud of this. India also successfully positioned itself as a champion for developing underdeveloped nations with ambition for a permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council, as our friend Patrick also emphasized, that also trying for permanent membership in the United Nations Security Council. So India, I hope, and wish all the best that India will have in the near future the permanent membership in the United Nations Security Council. India marked the first ever G20 summit. This is the achievement. All 83 paragraphs of the 2023 G20 New Delhi Leaders Declaration pertaining to financial, tax, and other agenda are also successfully approved by the 100% consensus and outcomes, and then 2003 summit, which has been recently held under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi Sahab, and hope that this type of spirit will continue from India. And particularly when we look into the future prospects, then as our friend Patrick also emphasized, because I consider him he is one of the visionary commissioner. He has also cultural relationship with India and Union. I am talking. It is in my mind. Just I was talking with the High Commissioner, Deputy High Commissioner sitting here, that I have several friends and I'm happy to express this with you and share the views. In South Africa, I have some friends from different disciplines, from geography, from environmental science, even from political science, and especially from Nigeria. I have some friends. We are working together academically, and we are writing, publishing something. And I think this kind of attitude, spirit of the scholars and our future scholars should try their best to create friendship with the African academicians, the students, to come forward in future to have a good relation politically, economically, socially, culturally, academically between India and Africa, and then I will be happy to say that India has really worked as a bridge between the India and South Africa and other South African countries. So there is a need, an urgency of collaboration. But I believe everything can be successful if we are 100% honest. We don't have any kind of self-interest and have interest only to serve the people of the nation and other nations of the world too, without having any kind of self-interest to serve for myself or for others. It should be universal for everybody. And then every place in the world can be developed. The demand is to work hard at the right time, with the right vision and ambition. So I think these are few words from my side, for particularly for the younger generations. They have to come forward in near future for strengthening the good relationship among different countries of the world, particularly between India and South African Union countries. So once again, I extend my thanks to all of you for patiently listening and wish you all the best for every good thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Very effectively, sir has summarized the G20 outcomes of New Delhi G20 summit. In this series, I would now like to request Dr. Anjali Kumar Ghosh, sir, who is an associate professor in the Department of Political Science, to come on the dais and deliver a formal vote of thanks. Sir.
It gives me immense pleasure to deliver the formal vote of thanks for the one-day seminar organized by Department of Political Science and Public Administration Mother University, Bodhgaya, on the topic G20 New Delhi Summit Positioning of India as a key bridge to the global south. First of all, I would like to start with expressing my sincere thanks to our special guest of honor, His Excellency, Mr. Cedric Charles Crowley. Mr. Crowley not only spared his valuable time for our event, but also shared his views on the importance of solidarity among the global south to create a better world. I thank him once again for gracing this occasion with his august presence. Next, I would like to thank Sri Avinash Gyan, who is also our guest of honor and key speaker. Mr. Avinash is a member of G20 African Economic Integration Committee, New Delhi, and he played a key role in initiating this program. My sincere gratitude for your seminar contribution in this event, and we look forward for similar association in future. Next, I would like to thank our guest of honor and key speaker, Dr. Sanjay Kumar from M College, Patna. He is a scholar of high stature and a good human being as well. Sincere regard and thankfulness goes to our Chief Patron, Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor S.P. Shahi, who has infused the university with new zeal and remains supportive and committed towards organizing such events. My special thanks to our patron, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor Professor P.R.K. Sinha sir, who always encouraged and inspired us with his presence. I would like to thank CCDC, Proctor, all the deans, heads of departments, teachers and non-teachers who have taken out their precious time to be a part of this fruitful deliberation on G20. A special thanks to our dear students for whom the program has been organized. Thanks to the student team who presented the cool deed. Thanks to media for always giving coverage to our initiative. Thanks to all the technical staff and our organizing team, especially our research scholar from Department of Political Science and Public Administration, Shailendra, Ashok, Kundan, Shaki, Deepak, Kiran, Beauty, Shadna, who worked laboriously to make this program a success. Lastly, thanks to the moderators, Dr. Divya, Dr. Shraddha, and Dr. Priyanka Singh for steering this program beautifully. Thank you. Thanks. Thanks. Sorry, sir. Thanks, our convener.
Thank you very much, sir. I would also like to thank convener sir who gave me this opportunity. At the end of the program, now I would like to request the girls to please come on the dais for the national anthem.